Good morning and hello. Welcome you to the virtual Sunday service for the Journey Within Spiritualist Church. I'm Reverend Dennis Battersby from the Journey Within, and I'll be hosting today's service. I'm pleased to welcome our guest today, our very own Reverend Joseph Shiel, who is the pastor of the Journey Within Spiritualist Church. Reverend Joe, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We begin our service with spiritual healing conducted virtually, as our healers are with us today. If you would like to request healing for someone, please type their first name and their first initial of their last name into the chat box. Please do not include the person's full last name. If you wish, you may also add the names of your pets, the planet, and global circumstances. We will open with prayer, followed by a brief period of quiet meditation. If you would like to participate in the healing, please quiet yourself, focus on your breathing, and as you inhale, feel yourself boosting your own immune system and igniting the inner healer within. Please join me in prayer. Dear God, we join together in prayer, asking for healing for all of our brothers and sisters who are suffering and in need of healing. We ask that their suffering be eased in some way. We also pray for the healing of the minds and the hearts of all people. May we learn to be kinder, gentler, and more compassionate. May we learn to see your beauty within ourselves, within all living things, and within all your creation. May we learn to honor you through our thoughts and actions, and may we learn to be ambassadors for healing while we walk this earth. Amen. As we come to the end of healing, we will continue to remember and pray for those who are suffering and who are in need of healing. Amen. If you would like to request healing for anyone during the course of the week, please email or call the church with their names, and we will forward this to the healers, who will pray for the healing for days, weeks, and months to come. Thank you to all of our healers. Welcome again, everyone. I'm Reverend Dennis Battersby from the Journey Within Church, hosting today's service. Today, we are here with Reverend Joseph Shiel. We open the service with song and prayer. I would like to invite Reverend Joseph to lead us in the opening prayer. Reverend Joe?
Good morning, Dennis. I don't see myself. My monitor went off, so I'm trying to get that straightened, but okay.
Good. Looking good.
All right. Great Spirit, we ask you to be with us this morning. And no matter where we are in the world, we are one in the soul and in spirit. As we come together, help us to celebrate this day together. Help us to celebrate the challenges, the difficulties, the champions, the good in the world. Help us to find our own being and take personal responsibility for our lives, our happiness and unhappiness. Help us to see our ability to choose peace. We ask for blessings or healing, if you will, for all those around the world who are suffering in zones of war and strife, marginalized, sickness, hunger, oppression, unfairness, imprisoned. We ask that we be mindful of all the suffering and to know that our energy, our well-being, and our effort to heal counts, matters, is significant in the world. Help us to see this, to adopt this, in all that we think and all that we do. Become lights of illumination of truth when it comes to loving one another. Amen.
And now I invite Reverend Joseph Shiel to provide today's address. Reverend?
Thank you very much, Dennis, and thank you for participating and coordinating all this. We really appreciate all the work you do for the church, and we're very, very happy to have you. I'm telling you, that you're, and your healing stuff is just incredible. So thank you for all that.
Well, thank you.
Church is full this morning, and over full, if you will. This morning, I'm at church. I'm in my office here, and it's an exciting time. We've had a 3-day course with a lot of my mentors, students, and so they're all very happy to be here in person. And so things are starting to happen more in person as well as our online programs. So I'm very happy for that. But in the process of doing that, you hear the stories of plight and pain and the things that we go through in life. We all go through. We all have our times of maybe feeling a little bit down or feeling a little bit hurt or feeling a little bit guilty even about things that have happened in our lives and things that have gone on. And I thought this morning with some of the counselings that I've had to deal with recently, I thought, what do I really want to talk about today? And I want to talk about the discipline it takes sometimes to be okay, sometimes to be more mindful of who we are as spiritualists. The greatest thing I find about spiritualism is we are personally responsible and we do have choice. And that means that beyond all our courage and faith, if you will, there comes to the work of knowing within ourselves that we're okay, knowing within ourselves that we are a soul, a spirit in this human existence. And we have a place to go for that peace, for that understanding, for that healing, for that uh, insight into how to live our lives forward, as if you will, how to go from today and go into our next day. That a lot of the pain and trials and tribulations of our past really should stay right where they are in the past. That they have come to maybe motivate us and move us to look for more, to look for the better, to find our way. Spiritualism is an experiential religion. There's not many out there. Most of them are religions of telling you what to do, telling you should do this or you do that, and you'll be okay. You do this or you do that, and you'll belong to us, and we will be there for you. You do this or you do that, or else you'll go to HE double hockey sticks. Those kinds of religions are nice in a way. They can be pleasant. They can be troubling. They can be trialing in a way that one day we're accepted and the next day we're not, depending on how life takes us, or life on life's terms hits us. Spiritualism, on the other hand, is coming to know the truth of ourselves, coming to be adults of spirit, coming to say, you know, I've had those hurts and those pains and those violations and those sequences that have happened in my life, the times when I became a victim of that person or that place or that organization that tore me up or tore me down or violated my very being, my very physical body, my very mind, my very soul. Those places and institutions that have torn me up or twisted my mind and put me otherwise. We all might have some of that in our past or in our childhood, and yet we need to kind of leave it where it is. I like uh, I like this morning that I looked up what is April 20th. What is today all about? One of the things that about today that tickled my fancy is that today is Clean Comedy Day, right? Which is interesting to me. Back when I was a young man in college, Boston College, I joined the Red Skeleton organization. Red Skeleton was a comedian that some of you may be old enough to remember, and some of you may not know him. But he was a phenomenal uh, phenomenal comedian, and kind of had an insight into the world, but he was very pleasant. He formulated a clean comedy organization. In other words, as stand-up comics, we were not allowed to use any shock humor, not allowed to use foul language, not allowed to be disingenuous or disrespectful to others. It took more intelligence, if you will, and it does for some comedians, not to drop the bomb, if you will, not to use the language or not to use the associations with things that would drag people through the mud or belittle other people, other types of situations, if you will. And so you have to think it through. You have to be intelligent about how you approach the comedy, how you approach the joke, how you approach the way of tickling somebody's funny bone, if you will, and letting them see the ridiculousness or the humor in life. You don't just shock somebody into it or tear somebody up because of it. You do it with a great sense of love for everybody you serve as a comedian. And I remember how, as part of that organization, trying to write things that would be that way, and how often someone like myself would fall from the grace of that, if you will, or fall from understanding things and want to go to that easy slam, that easy prejudice, that easy place that is so common in society or common in the place or my college or whatever the case may be. Life isn't easy. Life can be very hard. And life takes discipline to live it and live it well. Spiritualism offers us our principles as a discipline to come to know our souls, our spirit, come to honor our life, our being, and our future. We're all future ghosts. We're all future spirits. We are spirits now, and we will be. We have been, we are, and we will be. Always spirit, always energy, always consciousness, always knowing. So the question is, are we evolving into something improved or better or more understanding or more universal or more worldly? Or are we stifling our growth, stifling ourselves from seeing more, being more, feeling more, knowing more, of being in the world of intelligence, of the spirit world? Are we stifling that, or are we allowing it? Are we reaching for it? Are we coming to understand? Many people can trip themselves up, throw garbage in the path forward because of the things that tear us down or hold us to this world, hold us to this temporary time, and never move forward in understanding or knowledge of God. There are people out there that are agnostic. They don't know whether to believe in God or not. They don't have enough evidence yet. They don't know if that's true or not. They can't trust it. They're confused in a lot of ways. And many of us have been that way. Many of us that come to spiritualism have come from one religion or another that has confused us or torn us up, or from a place in our lives, whether there's religion or not in it, where the actions of others or the treatment of others or the abuses of others have confused us about whether there's good in the world or not. Spiritualism offers us something new. something bright and something bold. And with our principles, it gives us one thing that stands above all the rest, but it takes discipline, and that is personal responsibility. That my life is not the blame of my parents, or not the blame of people who have treated me badly, or not the blame of a failed business, or not the blame of years of pain and suffering and anger and the angry young man. It is because of not choosing a path that works, a path that gives healing, a path that gives light, a path that gives hope, a path that gives new life, vita nova, the new birth of life. Choosing that and disciplining oneself to that is what brings us to a more enlightened place, a more insightful place of what is peace, what is joy, what is life itself. And from life to life, an understanding of the continuity of life, that the doorway to reformation is never closed to the here or the hereafter, that happiness is okay to seek, okay to understand, okay to hold, that guilt, resentments, anger, hate do nothing more than block the road, nothing more than confuse the issue, nothing more than tear us down. It's as if we made progress and it tears us all the way back again when we get angry with somebody. It's as if we made progress and we feel more spiritual, more together, and then all of a sudden we slip up and we beat ourselves up with guilt. As if we were going forward and everything seemed to be clear and I have my life together and this is my new path. And all of a sudden, someone cuts us off and we fall all the way back because we're angry and we want to take it out on them, or we want to get even, or we want to, all human aspects of life in the physical world. We have the answer. We've always had the answer, and we will always have that answer. And that is at the core of our being, that flame within us, that light that stays lit, that pilot light to the warmth of who we can be. It stays on no matter what, no matter how distracted, no matter how covered over with confusion or things, stuff of life. I have to have that. I have to have that. I have to have that. We all have our overzealous emotions and choices that we make. We can tenor those if we go to the core, go to our soul and say, what is necessary for my life to move forward, to evolve? We can ask ourselves that question. Where is the peace? Where is my joy? What do I choose? There's a whole lot of unnecessary self in each and every one of us. Comes from our backgrounds, from our upbringings, from the pain we've endured, from the confusion, from our status in life, if you will. All of that is just smoke screens of life. It has pain involved with it if we delve into it and we take it on and we carry it with us. But it doesn't have to. At the core is the light that shines upon peace, upon joy, upon happiness, upon clarity, upon clean comedy. That core tells us the truth. Why? Because it's connected to every core that is God. We have atheists that are not saying you shouldn't do what you do, or you shouldn't have your faith, or you shouldn't do that. They're saying they just don't believe in a higher being, a God or an intelligence to the universe. And we can argue all day long with them about, well, how do you invent these things? How do these work? You know, could you go make a blade of grass? We could argue them till we're blue in the face. And they say, well, that doesn't mean anything. That's science, that's science, that's science. Are we going to win the argument? No, because we're arguing on a human level. The thing that spiritualism offers that no other religion can refute an atheist with is that we do believe in the mystery. We do believe in the path. We do believe in the experience. How could you ever believe in a higher source of power or a God if you haven't experienced it? It's still iffy. It's still suspect. It still can be said that I don't believe. I didn't see it. I don't know. With spiritualism, we do a couple of different things. We offer this road of principles to come to believe, to experience the nature of those mysteries, to experience the reality of those miracles, and to see them continuously. In other words, from life to life. The continuity of life does not change. The doorway is never closed, that improvement is always possible, and that we are together. There is no room for prejudice or for all the human hates and fears that we flounder around in. We have an opportunity to become more pure of heart, pure of soul, and intelligent about the spirit world, intelligent about the intelligence that formulates the universe and brings us all together. We can ask the right questions and move forward because we've been given that grace. We've been given that gift of understanding and of coming together in an open-minded way, to see the path. We choose. We're responsible for our own well-being. We're responsible for our own connection. We're responsible for our own happiness, for our own joy, for our own peace. Today is also National Poem Month, National Poem Day. So just before the monitor came on, I wrote this for today. I love to kind of just play with words and do things. So the pains of yesterday, leave there. Don't bring them upon today, for they don't belong at this time or place. There is a new day, new way, a fresh face, of learned road and clear path. Leave the pain where it belongs in the past. We are personally responsible for our happiness or unhappiness. We can choose to reach for joy and peace, or hold on to the fear and never release. We have the choice of love or hate. We can move freely or slam the dungeon gate. Forgive yourself. When we hold on to resentments or anger, or we want to get even, or we want to hold our power, we're better than you, I know better, or you slighted me, or you tore me down. When we do that, we give tremendous power to an earthly being, to a humanness, a place of confusion, a place of misunderstanding, of inequality in a lot of ways. We give all the power there, and we choose to be the victim of our own hate and own anger and own disillusionment with our own significance. But when we make an action to heal another, to pray for another, to give another an opportunity to go back to the source, to the core of their being, when we teach others to be personally responsible, we then no longer carry all the trunks of pain and garbage with us. We then release ourselves to see clearly that we can be light in somebody's life. We can illuminate the truth around them, and they then are able to see it and deal with it themselves. We empower them to heal. And in doing so, we clarify and heal ourselves. We become more open to see the pathways more clearly, that life becomes more freely open to walk, talk, and be. And we see again, most strongly, in all that we do in spiritualism, as mediums, as healers, as participants, as seekers, as open-minded people of personal responsibility, we see that I have choice, I have freedom, no matter what the situation in life, no matter how bonded or bandaged or angry or upset I am, I have a choice to change. I have a choice to be free. I have a choice to be love. Spiritualism is the religion of the future. It will take a lot of discipline and a lot of us to learn to love each other, to get out of the world of judgment and into the world of I want to be of service. I want to be the love in your life. We have a great opportunity as spiritualists in this young religion to help the world heal. I hope you can see that. I pray that you will. But if no one else told you they loved you today, know that I do. Thank you.
Thank you for those wonderful, inspiring words. We now come time for our collection and announcements. There is a box on the screen. This is for donations. That's the one with the little blue banner there. We appreciate all donations at this time. If you would like to donate, you can click the box or donate through our website or send a check. We are grateful for all donations, great and small. Now comes time for the announcements. Please note, if you're not a member, please check our website under announcements in inclement weather to see if our in-person Sunday morning service is still being held. All members do receive an email with such announcements. Please consider becoming a member of our community. And that's the other little box with Reverend Joe on there in the purple banner. We have fellowship after the service every week. We have coffee, tea, and small desserts, bagels and donuts, and other sweet temptations for you. Please join us if you're here in person. Online upcoming events and classes. The first and third Wednesday of the month, a community meditation with Eugenia Bushman. May 4th, Understanding Mediumship with Susan Hughes. And we also have Enhancing Your Spiritual Development Through the World of Tarot series with Eugenia Bushman. May 9th, Trance Healing Workshop with Simone Key. May 10th, Getting the Clincher with Laurie Sheridan. May 13th, Demonstration of Mediumship with the Journey Within Advanced Students. May 17th, Demonstration of Mediumship with the Journey Within Mediums. May 19th, Pets and Their Jobs with Lillian Steiner. May 20th, Embrace the No with Laurie Sheridan. May 24th, The Use of Psychometry with Christine Morgan. And in person at the Journey Within, the first and third Sundays of each month, mediumship development classes, all levels with Pastor Joe and guest tutors from starting at 12 p.m., $20 per class. The next class is Sunday, May 5th. May 12th, demonstration of mediumship at 12 p.m. with Pastor Joe, Tom Regenauer, and Eugenia Bushman. June 23rd, meeting and training session for moderators of the Journey Within in-person service. It is now time for our demonstration of mediumship. As a spiritualist church, we do believe in the continuity of life. As the medium brings forth the body of evidence of a deceased loved one, and you can take 90% of what has been said in the exact way the medium has said it, rather than in a way you can make it fit. Please raise your little digital hand, usually located at the bottom of your screen. And my Zoom updated, so I do have a little hand there. If somebody could raise it so you can see it work. There we go. Thank you very much. If you can take the first few pieces of evidence but cannot continue to take the next pieces of evidence, please lower your hand so we may find our recipient as quickly as possible. If several people can take the information, it is up to the medium to discern the right recipient. If you are invited to speak but cannot unmute or having difficulty, please type to me in the chat box. We will now listen to a song in preparation for the demonstration. Please join me in our message prayer. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circle flight. I am the soft star that shines at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. And now I invite Reverend Joe to offer demonstration of mediumship.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you so much. I'm going to start with a prayer that I say before all my readings that I wrote a long time ago when I was at the Catholic seminary and terrified of all this stuff, so it kind of comes that way. But Almighty God, Holy Spirit, be down upon us, in us and through us in every way. I thank you for bringing all these wonderful folks together today online. And I ask you to surround us all with the white light of your love and to pierce our hearts and souls with that love. And as you do, as love and spirit, be with us if at all possible, especially those around about folks here. As you step in with me, I ask you to use me in any way you wish, as long as you do love, light, and respect. Please show yourselves to me. Help me to understand who you are, what you were like in life, what you did in life, and what happened to you. Any information you have for the folks here for their upliftment, the discernment of their well-being, their purpose, their path, their happiness and joy would be appreciated. And I ask this in the name of all that is holy, all the angels and saints, teachers, guides, lovers, and prophets that have come before us to pave the way. And I ask this day for nothing but your highest and best, your peace, your patience and tolerance, your insight and well-being, your strength and fortitude, your love, your light, but especially your truth. Amen. And Dennis, if I may, I'm going to try to change my camera here, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll give it back to you when I'm done. You might have to remind me, though. All right. Just have to get that settled kind of correctly there. All right. So if I begin to draw anybody from the other side, I would ask you to pay attention to the information first, and then to the drawing. I could be talking about dad and end up drawing mom. Sometimes that happens. If you can take most of the information I say, then if you'd raise your little yellow hand, and Dennis will help me kind of identify who that is, and then maybe we could speak to you and see if we can work together to establish a better connection with the spirit. So thank you all very, very much. Please don't ask me any direct questions, and just wait for the information to come, and that will work best. So thank you for that. You know, as I sit here, I was impressed by a woman with me who I believe had a pretty full life, but she could have had a longer life. And I do believe she passed before her 90s, before her 80s, actually. I want to say that I feel like she was in her 70s when she passed. I do feel that this was a situation of great sickness that went on for quite a while, that she kind of dealt with it for a good 18 months from what she expresses to me. I do believe that she had had inklings of it before, but really didn't say much or didn't get the help or the diagnosis that she could have had a little earlier had she just paid a little more attention to it. For that, she apologizes to all those who had to go through the pain and worry of her sickness. She was not a whiner. She did not want the attention, and she's not a a willing patient, if you will. She kind of was the kind of person who wanted to take care of everybody else. A very very matriarchal and motherly uh, person as I come to her. I know that the name Elaine Ellen's Helen, that sound was just there that I walked over, but it's there around her, so I want to mention that. I also want to say to you that this is definitely a cancerous situation that she would have had, um, as opposed to lungs and things like this. This I have is kind of coming down in my pancreas area or my midsection, if you will. It could even be womanly by where it sits in my body, and I feel that pain kind of radiating and metastasizing to other places. She did try and worked hard to stay here. I believe that she tried not to show her worry, but she was a little bit nervous about um, it coming to an end, if you will. And as we got closer, the nerves kind of grew, but then a peace came over her because I do think she was a woman of faith, a woman who had a sense that, enough's enough and enough pain to submit to her transition, if you will. I do think she wanted to stay for the reasons of helping others, for the reasons of being there for children, grandchildren, that type of thing, and didn't get to do so. I do believe she left a number of people behind, kind of a good sized family, if you will. And I want to mention a Robert as well. I'm not sure where that just came from, but I know that it's around her that she's kind of enticing that word to come to my mind. So I want to mention that as well. I will ask, does anybody understand any pieces of this so far?
We have one hand up, Mary.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
Oh, we have another now, Janice.
Okay. Can we speak to Mary first, please?
All righty. Mary.
Hi, Mary. How are
Hello.
you? What?
It's my Aunt Helen. Her husband was named Robert. She
Okay.
had cancer. She died young. Um, I'm not sure her age. I think she was maybe in her 60s, but she was young.
Okay.
She left family behind, lots of family.
And she left
So,
Robert behind as well, right? He
uh,
lived beyond her.
I believe Robert passed first.
Okay. Thank you for that. So stay with me, okay?
Okay.
And who else raised their hand?
We have Janice.
Hi, Janet.
Good
Janice.
morning.
Good morning.
Can
How
you
are
hear
you?
me?
Yes, I can.
It
What?
would be my grandmother. She died at 78. Her sister was Helen. She had several brother-in-laws named Robert. Very strong in faith, like everything you described was her to a T, and did battle it for about 18 months.
Okay. I'm gonna I'm gonna um I'm gonna thank you, Mary, but I don't believe I'm with you. Janice's voice sounds familiar to me, like family. So I'm going to ask to work with her if I may, and I appreciate you chiming in. If you want to continue to listen, I'd appreciate that. But I do believe I'm with you, Janice.
Okay.
Would you work with me, please?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you. I want to talk about the kind of woman Janice was because I do believe that she put her best effort forward all the time, and she did try to be kind to others. She had a sense of responsibility, if you will, for her life and for those around her. I understand that she was not only a homemaker or at home, but she also worked outside the home as well. And she had a street sense, if you will. As quiet as she could be at times, I feel like when she was with family, she blossomed. And I do believe that she really would jump in and help quite a bit. I feel
Yeah.
that she had, um, she didn't always take care of herself physically as well as she could have. Okay. I don't think that's the reason for cancer or anything, but I do think that she was so busy otherwise. It's not like she's out at the gym. Okay. She seems to be just busy getting things ready for people and cooking for people and making things and getting involved with anytime she was asked to help at church, she's jumping right in and helping. And she's pleasant enough that she can get along with almost anybody. You would understand that, wouldn't you?
Yes.
I I like her. I would have really admired her in life, and I really would have trusted her to get things done. If you asked her to do something, she took total responsibility and ran with it. Sometimes to the point of uh, pushing other people, to help and get it done, if you will. It's one of those people that we often love to know, but we sometimes don't want to go around them because we know we're going to be working.
True.
So, it's she reminds me a little bit of my dad. He says we mowed the lawn today. That meant that I mowed the lawn, and so and, and so she would take on those kinds of roles. I like her very much, and I feel like she really didn't look old, even up in her 70s, until she did get sick. So up until around 75, she still looked, like she was vibrant and ready to roll. Her skin was very smooth and very subtle. She's not a big jewelry wearer. She wore some pointed pieces, but she's not somebody. I don't see her dripping in jewelry. Okay, and I see her dressed conservatively, and I like the fact that she has a dignity about her. You'd understand all of that too, wouldn't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Good. So I think that she comes today for you because she sees a bit of you in her, and a bit of herself in you, if you will. And she's proud of how you've held yourself and how you've held your life, even through some very, very deep difficulty, she tells me. And so even through some other loss that she said, all are here and we're all together and it's all okay. Okay. So I
Okay.
want to mention that to you. I
Okay.
also want to mention a Michael that it's being spoken to me. Would you understand a Michael in spirit?
We have a few Michaels.
Okay. I want to mention a younger Michael, if I may. Okay. Um, you would understand that, wouldn't you?
The only thing that comes to me, but I haven't seen him in a while. I don't know. There's been family. It would be a younger cousin, Michael. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I knew he had health issues, but I don't know the update. And this has been a long, long time ago. We've lost ties with that side.
Okay. Well, one of these Michaels died at a younger age, younger than I am. Okay. And I'm 68. So I'd say he's a bit younger, maybe even 20 years younger. Kind of in his 40s, I guess. But it feels to me like he was not well for a while. And it kind of caught up with him. I do think something's in his blood as well. It's kind of traveling through me quickly, maybe lymph node, that type of thing. But I feel that that took its toll in time on him, and that they've received him there. They're with him, and they want you to know that everything is well,
Mm.
um, and that they look upon you with great joy and great peace because you have brought a lot of love and peace and healing to others in the way you conduct yourself, the way you conduct your life. They want you to know that keep up the good work kind of thing, they kind of find that to be true. You don't hold on to heavy resentments and hurt people over those things. You kind of like say, yeah, that you might be angry or whatever. It's like, good luck to them. I'm going to go about my life, and it kind of are able to let it go sometimes. And I think that that's I would champion you for that. They speak very highly of you. I think these people um, would have known you as a child much more closely, if you will. You'd understand that, correct?
Correct.
And I think that you brought joy to them even back then. The nature of who you are was something that they it lit their faces up with smiles because you were so curious, and you're kind of an eclectic. Oh, I guess you got into trouble. You're the kind of person that even as a little child, even as a 3-year-old, you're pulling everything off the table, you know, and you want to touch everything. You want to know what it is. So I feel like you've always been a great learner, and a great teacher. And they're just saying from day one they knew it. From day one they knew that there was light in you. So they want you to know that they're around you to help you, that they're there to uplift you, and that others are around them as well. Now, I, Janice, there seems to be, I keep hearing my own name, Janice, which is Joseph Patrick. Joseph Patrick John is being, run around like a banshee here. And sometimes they're trying to get to another J name, but I want to stay with the Joseph for some reason. There seems to be a Joseph that's important to you. Would you understand that?
It would be the John.
John, okay. And
But naming him, we were toying with Joseph John, but we went with Jonathan over it. That would be my son.
okay. So there's lots of attention around him, lots of prayers around him, lots of you know, light around him. Okay. So although there's some confusion in this, it's almost as like they want to enlighten the way. Now, you'd understand this, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
So I want you to know that the peace and the love that they're giving clears the way for a very, very powerful and strong soul, because that's what John always was. Okay? That's what he always was. And that's even through the confusion and pain, that's who he will be for you. Okay?
Okay.
I want you to know there's a tremendous amount of energy here for people left behind that are still suffering, people that are still angry over a situation, and they
Yeah.
want to relieve the anger. Um, give those give those who hurt others back to the source, if you will. Let them see the light and have to look at themselves. Don't, in other words, don't take on the revenge. Don't take on the hate. Take on the light. Be the light that they've known you always to be, and they will help enlighten others. I know this sounds a little bit, you know, off, but I know that these people all come together for you, and you'd understand completely why, don't you?
Yes.
All right. Then I'm going to leave you with that, with light and love today. And I want to thank you very much for taking the message and for participating and working with me. Um, you've got some very, very special, loving people there that I would spend some time in the silence and thank them and ask them to empower you more to see the path forward. Okay.
Okay. I greatly appreciate it. You have
Thank,
no idea. It
thank
really
you.
touched my heart.
Thank you, Janice. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. Now, folks, as I go forward, I have a gentleman walking towards me, and he's rather He's taller than I am. I always ticks me off. I wanted to be taller when I was younger. The doctor said I'd be 6'4". I didn't never quite made that, I guess. But anyway, this man is just about 6 foot, a little bit more than 6 foot, maybe 6'2". He's not as girthy as I am. He has a more slender build for most of his life. Um, he stands very handsome and very dedicated, but I do believe that he um, did pass. I don't think it's all that long ago. I feel he's kind of like what I would call a newbie, you know. He's kind of been there for a while, but not a long, long time. And when I have him come close to me, it gives me a great big smile. I think that smile was a common thing with him when he met people who very engaging, very charismatic. And he gives me the sense that he is here to to show people that continuity of life exists, and that he really wants to show that to family members that may be still a bit doubting the reality of his presence, or the fact that he has tried to touch in with them on several occasions already. He's been in the dreams of someone here at least 3 times and has tried to make himself known. I like him a lot. You know, he talks about a doubting Thomas, so I'm going to just write down Thomas, but he talks about a doubting Thomas, like somebody who would have had to test the waters completely in order to believe his presence. But I want to say that I believe he went quicker than he expected. This is not a long drawn out disease, if you will. This is coming from kind of a quick reaction, almost like going down, and it's not immediate, but it's close, if you will. Um, there is not much pain involved other than the initial slam, because there is a situation of shock involved. So it's not painful, it's just scary and frightening at the time. I don't think he's alone when this happens, so I want to mention that as well. I don't think this is something he did to himself. I don't feel like this is the word suicide doesn't fit with this situation. And I feel that he is cleanly saying that he didn't see it coming. He didn't really have any indication um, or fear of that matter. No premonition of his own demise, if you will. It just came all of a sudden, and came that way. If you would understand this, you would understand a Susan somewhere in the family or somewhere just around him, because he's calling out to that to be at peace. He would also understand that as I come close to this, I do want to mention Richard as well as close by to him. So I want to mention Richard. And I'm going to begin to draw him. Do we have a hand up at all, Dennis?
Not at this time.
Okay. Does anybody understand anything so far?
Oh, we have one, two.
Okay. But who is this then?
We have Susan and Kate.
Okay. Could I speak to Susan, please?
Yes. Susan?
Hi, Susan. How are
Hi.
you?
Hi, I'm well, thank you.
Thank you, Susan. How do you understand the information I've given thus far?
Well, my name is Suzanne, and I believe this gentleman, at first I thought it was my father, but it sounds like my brother who had passed. I was married to a Thomas who was a doubting Thomas. Um, I'm trying to remember all the things you said. He did pass after a little time. It wasn't expected. He did not expect this to happen. He was
Right.
probably in shock. And I've heard before that he went out of his body quickly, but he did remain for a little while.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else.
I think his own spirit was watching what was happening, but he was caught off guard, if you will. How's that?
Yes.
And I'm drawing a picture of one of the gentlemen I'm seeing here. Okay, there's a number of people.
Okay.
It's not just your dad or your brother. Okay.
Okay.
A number of other people that you've in the family that have gone before. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
It's kind of a big family, if you will. Okay,
Yes, it's a tribe.
it's like it's like the priest said, have a lot of babies. Definitely Catholic background here, so
Yes,
I feel like he's reaching for the rosary beads in my
yes,
my pocket, you know. So I want to mention that as well. I have a sense that um, your brother had a sense of humor that was very, very quick,
yes,
dry, but
hmm
cutting at times. I have to
yes,
not
yes.
afraid, not afraid to take somebody down, you know. Uh,
Right.
where your dad,
He wasn't the kind comedy kind of guy.
no, he's not the kind comedy, he's not the clean comedy either. So I just want
No.
to, but nonetheless, he did get some laughs, and
Yes.
he was charismatic in a way, and I feel like he has a great sense of humor, you know, and kind of sees the ridiculous and the sublime. He would take people's inventory, unsolicited.
Yes.
How's that? You know, like
Hmm.
um, where your dad, I believe, is standing there as well, and he kind of has a drier, quicker, punny kind of a humor. Like he's just like kind of sees it and sees the ridiculous, you know. Uh,
Yes.
and your dad doesn't never dealt well with stupid, so
No.
I feel like he would have really taken people to task if they were being idiots,
Oh, yes. Yes.
and he wouldn't be shy about it either. So
No.
that. Um, the man I'm drawing here, are you recognizing a little bit as I come along here? Because
He kind of looks like my dad's best friend, to be
yeah,
honest with
it's
you.
kind of like and did you understand Richard at all?
Richard, I think, was my brother's good friend.
Okay.
I don't know too much about Richard, but
Yeah.
he was a good friend of my brother's.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna continue to draw this man as we're talking about your family, um, but your dad is the one that's impressing me to draw this. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like he's just like laughing, like he wait till you see this kind of thing, you know? And so it's
Yes.
really funny that and I like him because I think your dad and I would have got along famously. He would have thought what I do for my life is a little wackadoodle, but
Yes.
he would definitely say, what are you, you're back there in Ireland talking to the wee people or what? I mean, what are you doing? So he would have been a doubting Thomas in a way, but in another
Yes.
way, I think he knew of it all his life. And I think he
Yes.
knew about it all his life. It's just not his bag, if you will, you know?
That's right.
He's got a very he's got a regimented way about him too, you know.
Hmm.
Like anything too far out is far out, and he's not dealing with it, right? So,
Yes.
um, and I do think he could have a joyous time. He could be jovial at times. It's not just all Mr. Series all the time, you know. I
Yes.
think he'd like to have fun. He definitely enjoyed sports and I want to say he may have even enjoyed a little gamble now and then. I'm not saying he's a gambling addict or anything. It's just like he would have taken a wager, although he was very tight with his money. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Actually, no, he wasn't tight with his money. We were tight.
we would
When what you know what I mean? Like when I was younger, he was very generous, but
oh
he
yes,
couldn't when he could be, you know.
could be when he could be, but it was important to save what we could and spend it on important things, if you would. You
Yes.
understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just gonna he told me his ears too big here, so I'm just gonna back off his ears. He didn't want them to be. They were kind of, they did start to get large, so I'm just gonna get to them. Now, you you would understand that. Did he have a friend that was a police officer or a fireman like that?
Yes, he did.
He did, because he's talking about him for some reason, okay?
Okay. They were like the three musketeers, this guy,
They
my father, and the policeman. I'm sorry, I'm feeding the medium.
okay. But as as the Three Musketeers, as that group of people, these guys trusted each other, loved each other. I kind of ran pranks on each other.
Yep.
Uh, kind of always tried to get the other guy's goat, if you will, try to get
Yes.
it going. But it was one of the joys of life was to have
Yes.
friendships they trusted. And
Exactly.
you witnessing that and others witnessing that saw the beauty even in the ridiculous behavior sometimes boyish behavior, if you will.
Yes.
Okay. And saw the fun in that, if you will. Saw that
Hmm.
life was worthy of that fun, that laughter, that living, if you will. And he
Yes.
wants you to know that life is worth living, but you need to live it well. Don't
Right.
endure it, live it. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
he's saying to you, you've had your own troubles, your own, betrayals, your own hurts, and he wants you to know, leave that alone. Just leave it.
Right.
Go forward. Live it, live large, live big. You've got all that he's given you and then some. Remember the laughter, play a prank on a friend, have some fun, laugh
Right.
the day away. It doesn't always have to be so serious and so heavy.
Right.
And he wants you to know that. You understand this, don't you?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay. Now, I'm going to try to pull this man together a little bit more, but I think you
You,
begin to recognize the friend, actually.
oh, he's unbelievably. It's definitely his face and his little smile.
Okay. So all three musketeers are here. Okay.
They were hysterical together.
They,
Hysterical.
they are just pistols. I would not want to sit behind them at a game. Let me tell you, or have them sit behind me, I should say. So, because I would have been part of the joke, Uh, it's really funny. It's really funny. Okay. And this gentleman here never wasted a beer. I want to tell you that much.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Good. Okay. He sipped every last sip out of that baby. So, um, but you know what? He's still a kind and generous person, and they
Yes.
all love you very, very much. They all were always talking well of you because you certainly were a light in their lives. So I want to leave you with that, with light and love, Susan, and thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much for
much.
taking this. And if you, I want to get you the drawing, but if you want to take a snapshot of it, right,
Yes,
we'll go right ahead, okay? And
I would love to. It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
tell me when you're done, okay?
I'm done. Thank you so much. That
Okay,
was really terrific.
thank you, please.
And his name is Joe, by the way, as well.
Another Joe. There's the Joe. Okay, there we go. Peace. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dennis, thank you so much for serving today and allowing me to be on here with folks. And thank you everybody for all your support of the journey within. I'm going to give you back your screen here, Den. Okay, hold on. There you go. All right.
Well, thank you for those lovely messages. They were pretty amazing how we can bring love back together. This concludes the demonstration of spirit communication. I thank you all for attending the service, and especially thank you, Reverend Joe, for being with us today. We end the service with prayer and a song, and I invite Reverend Joseph Shield to lead us in the closing prayer.
Thank you, Dennis. Spirit world, all those loved ones that have gone before us, if you can hear our voices now, if you can read our thoughts and our emotions towards you, we miss you. We love you. Be with us. We know that you're only a thought away. We thank you so much for all your guidance, all your understanding, all your upliftment, all your nudges of hope in life. We ask that we remain mindful of all those suffering in the world and that we send that light, that core of who we are, out to illuminate the truth, to help heal the path for all to experience the love of God. Amen.
Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you again, Reverend Joe.
Thank you, Dennis. Have a great week, everybody.